And number 90 on the Iconic 100 list is the 1993 Ultra Scoring Kings of Michael Jordan, one of the most recognizable Michael Jordan inserts ever made. And here to talk about it today, somebody who I think had the card a little bit higher on his list. In fact, I know he did. We got Justin, Charger21 from Instagram. Justin, I know you love this card. Can you talk about why you love this card? You had it at 23, by the way. You had it at number 23 on your list.
Yeah, you know what? That card means a lot to me. If you just look at me and my profile as a card collector and everything, I was born in 1981. So when that card came out, I was 12 years old in Australia. And me and my friends were well invested in basketball cards at this time. And it was all a lot of paper, a lot of plain paper cards with maybe a little upper deck, little foil logo on the back. And then this Fleer Ultra brings out this Scoring King set. And I remember just me and my buddies, my buddy had 2 copies of the Jordan. He pulled 2 copies of it and he wouldn't trade me one. And we were all obsessed with those cards, any of that set actually. But obviously over time, the Jordan to me, just nostalgia, but the shot, the action shot's great. And just, it was like the start of premium inserts. It was the first premium insert set. And yeah, just love that card. Love it so much.
So I think about a lot of things when I think about this card, but I love hearing your story about you, as a boy in Australia, to know that this was an iconic and recognizable card on the other side of the world is really cool. Yeah. As we look at the rest of this list, there's a lot of really expensive Jordans, right? Yeah. Like cards that are really just incredibly valuable and they never move and whatever else. The thing that I love about this card, this is why we're doing the Iconic 100 list. This isn't about value. It's about recognizability. It's about the place in our culture that this card takes.
Yeah.
And this card, I mean, I've talked in different places with different people about this card. You're not the only one that this card means a great deal to. And how you described it, where you said this really like ushered in the era of rare, important Michael Jordan inserts. I think a lot of people feel that way. And so it's just not shocking to me to see it, on the list at all. And in some ways, honestly, I kind of feel like it should be a little bit higher.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, obviously I'm biased. It means a lot to me. And there's some cards on my list that I did that are worth maybe 30 or 40 times the price of one of those Jordans in a PSA 10. Or I don't know, but a lot more anyway. But to me, it's just, you ask me to do a list, that card means a lot to me. And, Jordan's the greatest athlete of all time. So it's not like I just picked a card from my youth that, I really like this card, I'm going to put it on the list. It's Jordan. And it's his first ever real premium insert with foil. And, like I said, it was just to 12-year-old kids in Perth, Australia, it was everything when you collect cards. It was the most desirable card in my whole school. So, it's always going to be up there on my list, always.
Well, you had it at 23, which is funny for Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I had it at 72.
Okay.
And the whole of the list had it at 90. But I'm going to tell you, Justin, you're not the only one who had it this high. It is a card that represents, the word iconic to me. And the last thing that I'll say before we cut this one off is the thing that I love about this card is that, this version or this card in a grade that's more, had been handled a little bit. It's not that expensive of a card. It can be owned by just about anybody in their collection. But if you go out and you find a PSA 10, which isn't impossible to find, there are copies of this card. It's not like a Pop 3 or Pop 4 or whatever. This card exists out there. This is a 5-figure card that has steadily climbed over the course of the last 10 years. It is a card that is in demand today. It was in demand, 20 years ago, and it was in demand in 1994. So, Justin, grateful to have you come talk about this card today and to share your stories from Perth, Australia. And again, that's card number 23, the Scoring Kings Michael Jordan card. Tomorrow we'll be back with card number 89, the Iconic 100 list. And until then, happy collecting.